I have to have the self-awareness, the self-management, the social awareness to figure out how to craft the most poignant, concise message that I feel the way that emotional intelligence can speak to his specific audience. But if I just said, hey, I don't even remember the guy's name. Hey, Bob, I'll just call him Bob. Hey, Bob, my topic idea for your audience as a possible podcast topic, should you select me to interview or be a part of your show, would be how emotional intelligence impacts 5-year-olds in preschool or in kindergarten. How effective is that going to be? How well is that going to go over, right? And of course, that's an extreme example, but you'd be shocked to hear how many people pitched the media and did not speak to that media rep's target audience. So that ability, that process of crafting a message to specifically that customer, that specific customer's pain points, solutions, problems, that kind of thing, man, there's just so many people that were not able to do that. They did not do that well. And that's another reason I feel like I was so successful in pitching these 81 different media reps with an 85% close rate. Yes, again, the topic, but also my ability to specifically craft a message about emotional intelligence that is going to specifically resonate with their audience. Welcome to the EQ for Entrepreneurs podcast. Like most business owners, you already know you need good business and marketing strategies to scale and be profitable. But at some point, you've hit the dreaded wall where you feel stuck and frustrated. EQ for Entrepreneurs is for business owners and leaders who are honest enough to admit that they just might be the ones holding their business back and are brave enough to change that.
We're Noble and Kathy, and every week we're having candid conversations about all things emotional intelligence and how growing that has allowed us to get out of our own way and is radically transforming both our businesses and our personal lives. This is the secret sauce strategy for modern entrepreneurs who are tired of hustling without seeing results and want to grow a business and a life that they love.
What is going on, super duper entrepreneurs, leaders, and influencers? Fascinating kind of discussion and conversation today. I just wrapped up about 10-15 minutes ago pitching 81 different national and regional media reps from TV, radio, podcasting, and print media, from the Dr. Oz Show, USA Today, Good Morning America, the Wendy Williams Show, all these different shows. And most of them some of them I had heard of, obviously the national ones. And some of the national ones, like I've never even heard of the Wendy Williams Show until having to pitch them. 48 Hours, Dateline. So, and again, podcasters, and just, it was fascinating experience. And so before I jump into the details here, I just want to thank you all so much for following this whole emotional growth journey, this whole emotional growth experience. And thank you for watching our YouTube channel, making comments, for listening to our podcast, rating, reviewing, subscribing, and sharing some of your favorite podcast episodes or YouTube episodes that you feel will help impact maybe some of your family members and some of your friends in their own emotional growth journey as well. So some of the lessons that I learned, and here's what I want to capture as well. So not just share with you some of my experience and some of my feelings going through this journey with this media journey, but also how emotional intelligence and my own emotional intelligence and emotional health and emotional growth journey allowed me to close 69 out of 81 media reps. So I had an 85% close ratio with the different media reps. And so what that means is it was 85% or 69 media reps that said, hey, we definitely want you to follow up with us and either be on our show, be on our podcast, write an article for us. Again, depending on what media they represented, what media form they represented. And that's a function of doubt. Now, no doubt, a massive factor that played in that 85% ratio is the topic itself. Emotional health and emotional intelligence has never been talked about more in our country, in our world, than in the past 12 to 18 months because of the pandemic and everything that's been going on. And lots of reasons. The pandemic, so mask or not to mask, vaccine or not to vaccine, in-person work, remote work, leaving the job, finding a job, finding the right job. There's the school for public school families, homeschooling families, public school families that are transitioning to homeschool families or have already made that transition to homeschool families. 2 million people started homeschooling over the past 12 months as a result of all the craziness and stuff that's been going on. So emotional health and emotional intelligence has never been more important and more relevant. The training that's going on in the military now, all these new things that are being taught and trained and promoted in the military. The housing market, are you kidding me? The housing market is insane. So again, this has been such an emotionally charged 12 to 18 months, and to every level, every demographic, minorities, not minorities. That's the racial tension that's been going on. There's kids, Colorado Springs Hospital, there's a hospital in Colorado Springs, just declared a state of emergency for children between the ages of 10 to 18 because of all the depression and suicide that's going on right now. So y'all, I'm telling you, this has just never been a more relevant topic. So definitely there's no question that I just happen to be, I feel like God has brought us along this journey to a spot, unbeknownst to me, obviously, that this was going to be such a massive, poignant, relevant topic in today's society, today's culture. And so definitely that had an impact on the 85% close rate. The other factor was me, my energy, my ability to communicate, my ability to connect and establish rapport, which takes emotional intelligence. Getting an opportunity it was 81 different media reps over 6 days. So whatever 81 divided by 6, whatever that math is for all you math geniuses out there, Rain Man out there. Rain Man, it's an old 80s or 90s movie reference there. So it was a lot of, and then there's probably, I want to say 70 other nobles that were also pitching the media. And so I got to hear almost 70 different pitches from my peers and colleagues in this course, this program. And I will tell you, there were so many of them that could have been so much more effective in communicating with and connecting with the media had they been more emotionally healthy and been more emotionally intelligent. Specifically, more self-aware of their own energy, of their own authenticity, their own uniqueness, because I also know that the healthier you are emotionally, the more self-aware you become, the more you will be able to connect with and identify with who you truly are inside, your uniqueness, what you bring to the table. That was another common theme among so many of the media reps. Like, dude, in fact, one today, because I just finished today. She was a big podcaster, and she's like, Noble, there are tons of EQ coaches out there. There are tons of EQ consultants out there. What makes you unique in this space? And so I said, here's one, the fact that I should, number one, there's two things. Number one, I'm the last guy that should be teaching anybody on emotional health and emotional intelligence, because I've been emotionally clueless 98% of my life. That's number one. Number two, look at me. Big, bald guy, beard, tattoos. I'm going to go out on a limb and say there are not a whole lot of EQ coaches and EQ consultants that look like me. So she's like, man, you know what? That's a great point, and you're right. You're in. I want you on the show, on the podcast. So anyway, it was funny. So the ability to connect. So the other thing too, it's not just self-awareness that's something, that we need to more effectively connect with each other, connect with our clients, connect with our customers, connect with our audiences, connect with our families, connect with our spouses, connect with our coworkers, connect with our target audiences. It takes social awareness. And then after that social awareness, now you've got to be able to manage those other emotions and stuff, and social manage, or another kind of verbiage that folks use is a relationship awareness and relationship management. And in my assessment, the psychometric scientific assessment, EQ assessment that I have access to, the way that it kind of shares it or describes it is emotional expression, and also interpersonal relationships are two dynamics or subscales that this assessment rates and assesses to see kind of how you're doing in those particular areas. So I just saw so many people with some fascinating topics and concepts that could have been a lot more effective and interesting. The other thing too, had they had more emotional intelligence, here's the other thing that emotional intelligence impacted. Every single different media rep, 81 different media reps had 81 different target audiences that they have already created and established. The more specific that each pitcher, that each person who was pitching the media could be at creating a topic or headline that media rep resonated with based on their specific target audience, the greater the chance of that connection, the greater the chance of that media rep saying, yes, we want you. Just like old Uncle Sam from back in the days, in the old military posters, we want you. But the further off topic, and let me just use an extreme to make a point. So one was, okay, he had a big giant podcast for attorneys. Everything anything that could possibly impact attorneys, legal, law. He has a big giant podcast. He's a big giant baller attorney in New York. And so, and in some cases, so they give you a bio ahead of time, kind of what this person's bio is, who their target audience is, so you can do some quick research, and they give it to you maybe 24 hours in advance. So you've got to do some pre-homework before you do this, or it's recommended for this specific reason. So now for me, I'm thinking, okay, this is this guy's background. This is probably who his audience is. This is the demographic. This is the age. These are the professions. This is the gender. In some of it states that in the bios. In some of the bios, it stated this is their target audience. So then I have to have the self-awareness, the self-management, the social awareness to figure out how to craft the most poignant, concise message that I feel the way that emotional intelligence can speak to his specific audience. But if I just said, hey, I don't even remember the guy's name. Hey, Bob, I'll just call him Bob. Hey, Bob, my topic idea for your audience as a possible podcast topic, should you select me to interview or be a part of your show, would be how emotional intelligence impacts 5-year-olds in preschool or in kindergarten. How effective is that going to be? How well is that going to go over, right? And of course, that's an extreme example, but you'd be shocked to hear how many people pitched the media and did not speak to that media rep's target audience. So that ability, that process of crafting a message to specifically that customer, that specific customer's pain points, solutions, problems, that kind of thing, man, there's just so many people that were not able to do that. They did not do that well. And that's another reason I feel like I was so successful in pitching these 81 different media reps with an 85% close rate. Yes, again, the topic, but also my ability to specifically craft a message about emotional intelligence that is going to specifically resonate with their audience, with that particular audience. And again, it takes a lot of factors in of emotional intelligence to be able to do that, to craft that specific laser beam, surgical, tactical topic or message that is going to speak to that person's specific audience. Because for them, that's what they're thinking. They don't care about me. They don't care necessarily about my topic. It's how is this potential message going to add value to my audience, period. They don't care about emotional intelligence. They don't care about me. They care about their audience because in some cases, they have built it up over the years. And some of them have millions and millions of listeners and viewers and stuff. And so I can't come in with my own agenda. I have to come in with their agenda. How can my topic and me and my unique story of my emotional growth journey specifically speak to and add value to their specific audience? Awesome lessons, y'all. Here's another way that emotional health and emotional intelligence has impacted this whole journey for me. Y'all, 3 years ago, there is no way on planet Earth I would have ever even done this because I would have self-sabotaged, self-hatred, self-condemnation. I've got nothing good to say. I've got nothing good to share. I'm not a Harvard PhD in behavioral intelligence or emotional intelligence. I don't have 4 books out on emotional health or emotional intelligence. 3 years ago, there is no way I would have had the courage, the confidence, the competence to even entertain speaking to any media, a local media person, let alone a national television show or a national radio station or a national syndicated podcast. Thankfully, due to the emotional growth journey, the emotional healing that I know that God has done in my life because of my intention of a very intentional emotional fitness program for myself, that is why I've been able to do this. Now, what comes of it, I have no idea. So I say, hey, I've got an 85% close rate, and I do, and I'm thankful, and I'm so blessed. What does that mean now? Going forward, I have no idea. But that's another thing. How has emotional health helped me in this journey? Is to manage the overwhelmingness of following up with 69 different media reps, with 69 different target audiences, 69 different timelines, 69 different lead schedules, and 69 different expectations. Again, some are print, some are articles I'm gonna have to write, some are podcast shows, some are television shows, some are radio. This is gonna be, the follow-up is gonna be no joke. And normally, y'all, I cannot even tell you, if you had told me, this is even more recent, a month ago, 6 months ago, hey, Noble, I need you to send out 69 different emails. That's it. Not 69 media rep. Just, if you had said, Noble, I want you to send out 69 emails, separate emails, I'd have been like, no, not going to do it. I would have been completely overwhelmed because my emotional bandwidth and my emotional capacity could not handle those details. Well, as a result of continuing to get healthier emotionally the past 4 years. Y'all, I wish I could tell you, man, about 7 to 8 details of anything would have shut me down in the past. 7 to 8, not 69. I'm talking 7 to 8 different details, i.e., sending out 7 to 8 different emails. It would have taken me 2 weeks. And I know you guys are like, dude, this is a true story, y'all. It would have I would have kicked the can down the road. I would have postponed it. I would have made excuses. I would have procrastinated, hesitated. Y'all, I wish I could tell you how powerful and impactful this emotional growth, emotional healing, emotional intelligence journey has had in my life in practical ways. Not, oh man, I feel more connected to the planet or more, and no offense to, but that's just, for me, it's been practical, very practical journey. Like, yes, okay, this is, for me, this is not about being more kumbaya and more warm fuzzy and all this kind of stuff. It's so that I can control and manage my emotions and be more informed by my emotions, not so my emotions control me and take over me, and I am at the whim of whatever feeling and emotion pops in, like we are seeing in so many people around the globe, and especially in the US. Man, like they're literally blown and tossed by whatever emotion or whatever trigger comes up. Bam, they get slammed with a whole new set of emotions. I'm so thankful, y'all, that I am no longer one of those people, and am now trying to help out those of you that may be in that situation where, man, I'm still getting slammed around back and forth against the walls of life by every time I get triggered, which happens, it could be 3 times a day, 5 times a day, once a week, a couple times a week, a few times a week, which is another thing that I've shared a lot. I'm getting triggered so much less. Now that's funny, I say that because recently, I think I was triggered like 2 or 3 times in the span of 2 or 3 days, but that is happening now once every, maybe 6 months. So the amount of times that I'm getting triggered has dropped tremendously, which reduces stress. It reduces anxiety. I'm not walking around with a half-pound hair trigger on my emotional gun or my emotional weapon, just waiting for me to get triggered so I can pounce on somebody for, spilling a glass of water or something. Now, in fact, literally, y'all, 2 minutes before this thing started today, this pitch session with the media, coming in, I had a nice shirt on. I was ready to go. Literally, I'm about to turn on the Zoom. 2 minutes, I spilled coffee all over my shirt. All over my shirt. Thankfully, did not even skip a beat. It didn't even register on my emotional radar. I didn't, oh man, what? 2 minutes to go, man, I got to turn the camera on right now. Super chill. Okay, boom. Put my coffee mug down. What's left of it? Okay, let me go grab another shirt. Put this shirt over here in the laundry. Boom, come back so I can be on time. And it was nothing but a chicken wing on a string at Burger King. You feel me? All right, so yeah, so many ways that I am growing emotionally, and I just hope that you all are on this journey with me and are seeing and feeling and experiencing the consequences, the results, the benefits, the outcomes of growing emotionally on it, and taking ownership of your emotions and being intentional with walking this out. Now listen, at your pace. Go at your pace. That's the other thing too about this emotional growth journey. I've shared some episodes about this too over the past year and some change, is you've got to make sure. So I definitely encourage everyone to have and adopt their own emotional fitness journey and emotional fitness program. And with that being said, do it where, and it's just like physical training. what you don't want to do with your emotional fitness is the same thing you don't want to do with your physical fitness or your body. Like for me, jiu-jitsu, I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. If I go every day for 2 hours a day, twice a day, at some point, my body is going to wear out. It could be 2 weeks, it could be a month, it could be 2 months, 3 months. If I do jits that often and don't allow my body to recover, that's going to compound and compound until my body's going to shut down. Excuse me, the same thing can happen with emotionally. So what I encourage you is that make sure you go at a emotional fitness pace that you can sustain and maintain, which you may have to play by ear. You may have to adjust it as you go on based on the different emotional issues and things that you're working through. But a critical component of your emotional fitness journey is you have to feel safe. You have to feel safe about embarking on this emotional fitness program. If you need professional help, if you need professional counselors, professional therapists, professional psychologists, psychiatrists, whatever you think you need, seek it out. Just make sure that you go at a pace that is not leading to more stress and more anxiety. So you may have to do a day at a time, a week at a time, a month at a time, and then take a break, take a day break, a couple days break, maybe take a week break, a couple weeks break, maybe a month break. Again, a lot of it is going to determine on the size, the intensity, the severity of that emotional experience, emotional issue, emotional trauma that you've experienced. And again, if you feel like you need professional help, please seek that out. You are worth it. You matter. It's important to get this healing, because I'm telling you all, this is another quote I said today on the pitches today. Emotional freedom without financial freedom is not freedom. Emotional freedom, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. Financial freedom without emotional freedom is not freedom. Financial freedom without emotional freedom is not freedom. So I want all of you to experience the benefits of leading an emotionally healthier life. Will that emotional growth journey ever stop? I don't think so, because we're always experiencing emotions, always, regardless of how emotionally healthy we get. Now, the goal is to be able to deal with and manage and process our emotions a lot more effectively the healthier we get emotionally. So now an issue that may have taken us weeks, days, or hours to process before, now maybe it takes minutes. Now maybe it only takes hours instead of days. Now maybe it only takes days instead of weeks. So the goal is to get overall more emotionally intelligent by becoming more emotionally healthy and fit. So realize that emotional intelligence, emotional health and fitness impacts our ability to connect, our ability to establish rapport. It impacts every single relationship that we're in, up to and including our most significant, important relationships in our lives. So, and including your coworkers, your colleagues, your company, your staff, your employees, your organizations, your own audiences. For those of y'all that are influencers, your own audiences, it impacts your ability to speak their language. And again, to do it authentically with your unique voice. When we first started this journey a number of years ago, it was so hard to figure out what my voice was, because I'm a recovering people pleaser addict. I didn't even know what my voice was, because I had everyone else's inputs and opinions and thoughts and ideas on what my leadership style should be, or what I should do, or who I should be, or who I should become. And it wasn't until I became emotionally healthier that I am a recovering people pleaser addict, and I'm just now finally finding out what my authentic voice is, what uniqueness I bring to the world, so that I can leave this world a better place. Remember, unaddressed emotional issues do not get better over time. They actually compound. Emotionally healthy people help heal other people emotionally.